Generative AI tools like ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot are revolutionizing the way we get things done at work.
From helping us create, edit, and analyze documents to helping us create images and multimedia, AI tools are fast becoming essential productivity tools in the workplace.
But there are risks, particularly when it comes to data privacy. Imagine if software developers used AI to help them check their source code and then discovered that the AI tool was sharing that source code with people in other companies.
That's not a hypothetical situation. It was a widely reported problem for Samsung in early 2023. In fact, a study by market research company 3Gem found that about a third of the employees they surveyed disclosed that they had submitted private customer information or other sensitive data into an AI tool they were using at work.
This opens up not only the possibility of embarrassment and damage to your reputation, but it can also create legal liabilities and even governmental penalties if the data you inadvertently gave to the AI tool included confidential or protected information.
In this course, we're going to explore how generative AI tools use our data and where that data may come from. We'll talk about ways to protect your data and your customers' data, and about some of the regulatory requirements for protecting that data. Finally, we'll look at how you can know if and when some of the most popular AI tools are safe to trust with your data.
Let's get started with a quick overview of how large language models work.
Artificial intelligence as an idea has been around since at least the 1950s, but for this course, we're primarily focusing on generative AI tools which have become wildly popular since the introduction of ChatGPT in 2022. ChatGPT is a large language model, or LLM, which means it has been trained on millions of documents, websites, books, and other materials. It is very good at using its training knowledge to respond intelligently when prompted by a user. You can think of it as similar to the autocomplete function on your phone, except instead of just suggesting the next word in a text message, it can generate complete and complex answers to your instructions.
There are literally thousands of large language models available, with the most popular being the GPT series from OpenAI. That's the LLM behind ChatGPT. Others include Copilot from Microsoft, Claude from Anthropic, Gemini from Google, Llama from Meta, and Grok from X, the company formerly known as Twitter. These models all have their differences, and we'll talk about some of those later in this course.
There are also dozens of multimodal generative AI tools available, which work similarly to large language models, except instead of producing text, they can produce images, audio, and video. These models include image creators like DALL-E from OpenAI, Midjourney, and Firefly from Adobe. This also includes music creators like Suno, voice generators like 11 Labs, and video creators like Sora or Runway. These tools have also been trained on large amounts of data so they can understand how to provide you with realistic multimedia output. But in their case, the training data consists of other images, videos, music, and more. And the training data is the first thing we need to think about when we talk about data privacy.
These generative AI tools, both the language models and the multimodal tools, begin with large amounts of training data which is processed and stored in a neural network. The need for the training data is enormous. For example, GPT-4, the 2023 version of the brain behind ChatGPT, is estimated to have needed trillions of words, billions of documents, millions of websites, and thousands of books to train its AI brain.
Where exactly each model gets its training data is somewhat confidential and has led to several lawsuits. But we know that most, if not all, public websites and books are included in that training data. Basically, any unprotected documents, text, images, or media on the internet might get used to train these AI models. If you have sensitive data that you don't want to share with the world, the first step is to keep it out of the AI training data.
It doesn't stop there, though. As massive as all that data is, we often need to feed new data to our AI tools in order to get the results we want. If we'd like to use ChatGPT to summarize a document for us, we need to give it access to that document. If we want to use Copilot to summarize recent events, we need to give it access to news sites on the web. If we want to use Claude to summarize a meeting, we need to give it access to a recording or transcript of the meeting. Data that is added to the generative AI tool this way, above and beyond the original training data, is technically referred to as grounding, retrieval augmented generation, or fine-tuning, depending on how it's done. The technicalities are not relevant for this course. The question is, when we send that data to the AI tool, will it be protected?
There's another consideration to think about when we feed data to our AI tools, and that is data classification. Let's say you work in finance at a large company, and you have the proper clearance and permission to use an AI tool to prepare your year-end reports. You might ask your AI tool to review certain documents and prepare a year-end summary.
If some of those documents are confidential and should be accessible only to people with certain permissions, and if any of that sensitive information winds up in the final summary, then that output document should presumably also be confidential and restricted.
Is that something the AI will do automatically? Or will it depend on the user to think about those things and apply those restrictions later, so the information doesn't accidentally go to the wrong people?
That's what we call data classification. Some AI tools support it, but many don't. So it's another factor to consider when choosing which AI tool meets your needs.
We'll explore all of these topics in more detail throughout this course. In our next lesson, we'll look at how AI models might get access to our sensitive data.